President reiterated strict laws will be enforced to combat the use of polythene from the 1st of January.
3 persons, including the former SEC chairman Nalaka Godeheva, remanded over alleged financial irregularities.
MP Premalal Jayasekara released on bail.
20 students identified to be diagnosed with HIV, a revelation from the health minister.
Hello, good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News on MTV and Shakti TV. Good evening, folks.
Good evening, Nadim, and a very good evening to all our viewers. Let's start off with a look at tonight's top story. On to your top story tonight.
A ceremony was held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena at the BMICH in Colombo today.
The ceremony was held to award certificates to engineering assistants of the Irrigation Training Institute at Galgamore, who are diploma holders. President presented awards to 10 professionals who have completed 30 years of service at the Irrigation Department.
Everyone who served are serving at the Department of Irrigation are bonded with the department with their blood. I must also mention that the Department of Irrigation runs in my blood too. My political venture began among the farming community, their sufferings, blood and tears. It is the farmers of this country who are the main contributors to the country's national economy. It brings relief to the farmer when the fertilizer is provided to them on time and their harvest is produced to the market on time.
The President was also awarded a token of appreciation for his commitment to the irrigation culture.
President Maithripala Sirisena says that strict laws will be enforced to combat the use of polythene from the 1st of January. The President expressed these views during the debate on the expenditure heads of the Mahaweli, Environment and Irrigation Ministries in Parliament today.
පරිසර දූෂණය වැළැක්වීම පිළිබඳව අපි එක් පැත්තකින් තිබෙන නීති ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීමත්
With regard to environmental pollution, we will be enforcing the existing laws on one hand, and on the other hand, we are also compiling new laws. From the 1st of January, we will enforce strict laws over the use of polythene. The Gazette notification has already been issued. A circular was issued in 2006 in this regard, but that process has stalled. So from the 1st of January, we will be issuing the new Gazette notifications. You're aware of the severe harm that is caused by polythene when it comes to waste management, especially solid waste management.
Former chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Nalaka Godeheva, was remanded until the 14th of this month over an alleged financial irregularity of 5 million rupees, which is said to have taken place at the Commission.
Dr. Nalaka Godeheva is charged of utilizing a sum of 5 million rupees as payment for an American hip-hop dance group which performed at a rugby tournament last year under the guise of an awareness campaign on investing in the stock market. Nalaka Godeheva, who arrived at the Financial Crimes Investigation Division along with his lawyer this morning to provide a statement, was arrested and produced before the 4th Magistrates Court. Former director of the SEC, Dhammika Manjara Pereira, and Ronnie Ibrahim, who were arrested on the same charges, were also produced before the 4th Magistrates Court today. Police media spokesperson SP Ruan Gunasekara said that the 3 persons, including Godeheva, were arrested on the charges of criminal misappropriation of property under the Public Property Act and criminal breach of trust. Meanwhile, former Secretary of the Ministry of Highways, Ranjit Premasuri, was also summoned before the FCIT today.
A
statement was recorded from RWR Premasuri, who is the former Secretary of the Ministry of Highways, after he was summoned to the Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division today. He was summoned to record his statement in relation to an investigation underway over an alleged financial irregularity where a loan of 28 billion rupees was obtained from the National Savings Bank for the construction and renovation of roads.
An argument broke out in Parliament today over former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's security detail.
Similar to the lies mentioned in the budget, it is an absolute lie that Mahinda Rajapaksa has an army battalion of 500 as his security detail. Mahinda Rajapaksa has officially stated the number of personnel in his security detail today. He has 80 members. Women of this country who lived in the forest for their fears during the war are now safe because of the battle which this president triumphed.
I would like to state on behalf of the government that we have not curtailed the security of the former president by any means. We have answered this question on previous occasions in Parliament. We have not reduced the security of the former president. We will assess his security and provide the required security for him because his security is very much our concern as well.
He does not have a security of 500. He has only 80. This is what he has been given. So how can it be said that 500 were given?
This question has been brought up in Parliament on several occasions and we have given answers to these questions in Parliament.
Let's take a look at some of the top news stories from the courts today.
The Court of Appeal ordered today that United People's Freedom Alliance parliamentarian Premalal Jayasekara, who was in remand custody on charges of murder, be released on bail. The parliamentarian was released following the consideration of an appeal filed by him, subject to cash bail of 100,000 rupees and two sureties amounting to 500,000 rupees each. The MP has been banned from overseas travel and his passport is to be handed over to the court. The army personnel who were arrested in connection with the disappearance of journalist Pragit Eknaligoda were produced before the Homagama Magistrates Court today. The court ordered the Lieutenant Colonel Prabodha Siriwardana, Lieutenant Colonel Shami Karunaratna and Sergeant Priyanta Rajapaksa be further remanded until the 17th of this month. The court also issued detention orders for police to interrogate two other army officers until the 9th of this month. Meanwhile, protesters staged a demonstration in Homagama today as well, demanding that the army officers be released on bail. The magisterial hearing of the case pertaining to the murder of Seyas Deomi concluded at the Minuwangoda Magistrates Court today. The magistrate noted that the case would be concluded since the defendant Saman Jayalath has been indicted at the Negombo High Court.
Welcome back. The awareness program Empower the Woman got underway in the Trincomalee and Norelia districts today.
Day 5 of the campaign got underway at the main bus stop in Norelia today. Representatives of women's organizations, the police and people from surrounding areas participated in the awareness program.
I think women should get together and support the economy of our country while safeguarding your own family, saving your earnings and educating yourselves. We should all join this cause to empower women. I consider this as a great opportunity to identify the difficulties women face and to take the necessary actions to safeguard them.
Bracelets and leaflets were distributed among women in Norelia and the surrounding areas as part of the awareness campaign. The women were also given an opportunity to present their ideas and grievances.
When women ask for help, people only show off their status instead of helping them. They never question as to why women are helpless. I request you to look into such things and help the women in need.
Another phase of the Empower the Woman campaign got underway at the auditorium of the Trincomalee Divisional Secretariat today. A group including representatives of the Police, Women's and Children's Bureau were present at the event. The team engaged in a door-to-door awareness campaign in Srimapura and subsequently visited the village of Jamalia.
We found the solutions to all the problems through this program, which we held back all this while. I thank Sirasa for organizing this program.
The Empower the Woman campaign is a joint initiative of Newsfirst, Sirasa and Shakti together with the police, the Ministry of Provincial Councils and local government and the district and divisional secretariats.
Staying on the subject of empowering women, MP Buddhika Pathirana posed several questions to the Minister of Foreign Employment during the debate on the expenditure heads of the Women and Child Affairs Ministry in Parliament today.
Most of the incidents of sexual abuse have been reported from Saudi Arabia, but none of the suspects have been identified. Sri Lankans are being pelted with stones and are being flogged. But the culprits for these abusers are people from that country. What is the ministry's vision in terms of identifying the suspects?
When speaking of sexual abuse or being tortured with nails, they have not filed a proper complaint against anyone. In order for us to take steps, there must be a complaint against someone.
She was arrested for this incident and produced in court in April 2014. The embassy was not aware of this at the time. The sentence was handed down in April 2015. Even then, the embassy was not aware. There has been no connection between the embassy and our laborers there. This is the cause of this problem. There's a secret plan with regard to this system, and this involves America. That is all I can say. This is the only route to save this mother.
Those who spoke about Rizana while in the opposition back then have now been made to speak of the woman being stoned in Saudi Arabia while in government. These Arabian rulers are not only stoning and killing a Sri Lankan woman, they are stoning and killing Sri Lanka's pride. Who is it that dragged Sri Lanka's economic and social status down to such a level that our pride is being stoned and killed? Those who brought our social system to this level are the ones who should be stoned and killed.
Honorable Member, I need to tell you that there are over 2 million people being employed in the Middle Eastern countries. We need to know what your stance is, as in whether you want to send trained personnel or whether you want to put a stop to sending women for employment to Saudi. What is your national policy?
Clearly, we need to establish an economy where our people, our women, are able to work in their own country and put a stop to people working overseas.
We will be taking measures in the future to minimize the number of women travelling overseas for work by implementing numerous programs aimed at strengthening their economies. We are hoping to do whatever possible in the future to keep them in our country.
HIV/AIDS became one of the topics of discourse during parliamentary proceedings today.
1,425 men and 840 women have been diagnosed with HIV/AIDS during the years between 2010 and 2015, which is a total of 2,265. And how many students are among them? 20. If you statistically distinguish this figure, the ones who are under the age of 15 were ones who had contracted the disease at birth, and the ones above the age of 15 had contracted the disease through sexual contact.
Has the ministry or any other institution through its research found individuals who are yet to be diagnosed with HIV/AIDS?
We cannot say for certain because some go unreported. So what you are saying is true. Also, there are some who are completely unaware, and there are some who are afraid to subject themselves for a medical checkup because of the fear of being diagnosed with HIV and other social issues. Therefore, I issued an order that all school subject students in the advanced level stream to an ordinary blood test without it being said. This will also be carried out for free at universities, youth associations and sports clubs. This program will be made mandatory for students who want to enroll to universities.
TNA MP Charles Nirmalanathan made these remarks in Parliament.
The resources and the forest in our areas are being destroyed. The officials of the relevant departments are not taking any measures. There are huge trees in Mana, Mullative and Vavuniya. The relatives and friends of the representatives of the government and the ones who are vested with the power have struck deals to sell these resources. The 600-acre forest which sits in the middle of Kumalamune in Mulliavale has been destroyed. When I inquired about this from the district secretary, he said that he was not aware of it. Where were the government officials when these giant forests were being destroyed? Is political power the driving force behind this, or was a direct order issued permitting such activities? The subject minister must pay attention to this.
Various parties are expressing their opposition to the 2016 budget proposal to curtail the fertilizer subsidy.
Farmers staged a demonstration in Ambalantota today, demanding that fertilizer subsidies and the certified price for paddy be implemented as it is. They gave 5,000 rupees per acre. When we take this money to the shop, there is no guaranteed price for fertilizer. If the shopkeeper is selling a 50-kilo sack of fertilizer for 4,500 or 5,000 rupees, then the farmer will be forced to buy it. The JVP too commented on the matter at a media briefing held today. Their premise for curtailing the fertilizer subsidy is that they will be providing land, technical assistance, seeds and an infinite number of concessions. Therefore, they must slash this. What they have done here clearly is that they have taken away the farmers' fertilizer subsidy. What this government is doing is an extension of the 30-year-long program where food security in the country is being destroyed and a few Western companies are being established here, creating a false myth that the economy can move forward this way. They have simply rejuvenated this program. Not only have they failed to introduce anything new, they have presented a budget that completely destroys the agriculture industry and the lives of farmers. 5 sacks of fertilizer are used per hectare for each season. So for 2 seasons, it is 10 sacks of fertilizer. You buy a sack of fertilizer at present for 500 rupees. So for 2 seasons, you will spend 10,000 rupees. You are already spending 5,000 rupees. Now a sack of fertilizer is 3,000 rupees, so 10 sacks would be 30,000 rupees. So when you reduce the 5,000 that you are already spending, it is 25,000 rupees. We will be providing that 25,000 to you in the form of financial assistance. So there has been no reduction in the amount of money that is being given. We have already spoken to the Finance Ministry about reducing or increasing this concession in line with the fluctuation of the price of fertilizers. They have agreed to this.
President Maithripala Sirisena has agreed to provide a practical solution to the issues raised by chief ministers concerning the allocation of funds for provincial councils.
At a meeting held at the parliamentary complex today, the chief ministers handed over a letter to the president today citing their objection to the proposal made through the 2016 budget to provide funds allocated for provincial councils via the ministry.
We've asked to arrive on the 10th for an answer. We trust that His Excellency the President would take a fair and impartial decision on this. We cannot ask for a specific time frame. The President said that this matter will be resolved. We are thankful to the President because he resolved our main issue. We all have faith on the President. Chief Ministers of provincial councils had raised certain allegations on the budget at provincial councils. At a meeting attended by the President, Ministers, Finance Minister and myself, the President assured to provide a practical solution to this issue.
Many instances were witnessed across the island today where parents arrived at schools to return free uniform material vouchers which were invalid, where parents complained of the insufficient value attached to these vouchers, and where parents were unable to purchase quality material for a specified price at the shops. Against this backdrop, several teachers and principals associations staged a joint media briefing in Colombo today, highlighting the fact that teachers, students and parents have been inconvenienced by the new voucher system.
There is no quality material in the market today. We usually purchase cloth with the specification 65 to 35. How does a child choose the material when they go to a shop? The government is able to provide the material with the necessary quality parameters. We know that the Sri Lanka Standards Institute has already listed the quality parameters for school uniform material. We call on the President to take steps to ensure that school children receive material of that quality. Education Minister Akila Viraj Karyavasam has said in Parliament that this voucher system will be implemented next year, no matter who opposes it. We came here to state clearly that we will not allow Akila Viraj Karyavasam to implement this.
At a media briefing held at the Education Ministry today, the minister responded to the stance taken by the unions.
We have not been officially informed and I do not know how they have said it. We shall see how it will unfold. We all have a responsibility to do our jobs and a moral responsibility as well. We cannot play games with these children. There needs to be discipline in the country. If people are acting arbitrarily, then disciplinary action will have to be taken.
At the same media briefing, a journalist questioned the Education Secretary on an incident where the ministry had spent 137,000 rupees to purchase a mobile phone for an individual and a further 37,000 rupees for the mobile phone to be repaired, when a public administration circular clearly states that a ministry's financial provisions can only be spent in this way for the permanent secretary.
We need to have email access everywhere. We need to be able to access information everywhere. Is this wrong? I don't know. The minister has a staff and needs to purchase equipment. If you look at it that way, then I cannot even purchase a chair. We do not take commissions. We are not stealing. We are not striking various deals. This is not for my use. It is for my service as a minister. If I cannot purchase it, then it is very unfair.
Minister of Housing and Construction Sajith Premadasa attended an event held in Tissamaharama this morning.
The event was held to declare open the Berilahela drinking water project in Tissamaharama.
Today our government of good governance is a strong government. The power of our government was shown during the budget vote. Our government did not garner more than 2/3 of votes by promising ministerial positions or bribing them. So no matter who says what, our government is strong and an extremely stable government.
The Navy is continuing a search operation in the seas of Trincomalee following reported sightings of several floating bodies. SLAF Executive Media Officer Wing Commander Gihan Seneviratna said that responding to a request from the Navy, the Air Force too had dispatched an observation aircraft this evening. The observation aircraft, which took off at about 4:30 this evening, conducted an aerial inspection of the sea for about 1 hour. 2 Dora vessels were dispatched last evening following reports that 6 bodies were seen floating on the sea about 20 nautical miles off the Trincomalee coast. However, the Navy noted that the vessels had not spotted the bodies and had to return to port last night due to rough seas. Meanwhile, the corpse which had washed ashore in Talemana recently was inspected by a representative of the Indian Deputy High Commission today. Following the inspection, the official noted that steps would be taken to take the body to Tamil Nadu. The body has been identified as that of Zahir Hussain, an Indian fisherman who was reported missing while fishing in the seas around the Kachitivu island. Meanwhile, a body that was found on the Nilavali beach in Trincomalee is now lying in the Trincomalee hospital. The police media spokesperson said that an Indian identification card believed to belong to the deceased was discovered about a kilometer away from where the body was found. The police said the Indian High Commission has been informed of the discovery and that the post-mortem examination will be conducted after relatives identify the body.
In sports news, Sri Lanka Cricket announced today that a sample provided by Kusal Janit Pereira for a random testing carried out by the ICC during the recent Pakistani tour had yielded a positive result for a banned substance. In view of this, and in terms of the applicable ICC regulations, SLC has recalled Pereira from New Zealand. The communique states that SLC will take all steps required to have a further sample tested and make every endeavour to enable Kusal Janit Pereira to resume playing cricket at the earliest opportunity in compliance with the ICC's regulations. SLC noted that Kaushal Silva will be travelling to New Zealand to replace Kusal Janit Pereira.
The Sabaragamuwa province team won gold in the men's football tournament at the national games today. The Sabaragamuwa men defeated their compatriots from the southern province by 2-0 at the Vincent Dyer Stadium in Badulla. The Western Province men's team won bronze after defeating the Northern Province team 5-0 in the third-place playoff.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Florine Rajendran.
And I'm Nadim Majid. Good night and good luck.